everyone. I don't know where my videos left off, so I don't know if there's a day before this one, but welcome back. Today I launched my first video on YouTube, so that's pretty good. I'm happy I accomplished that. Right now I'm taking my dog out for a walk, and just wanted to come on here and let you guys know what I've gotten accomplished. And of course my dog just pooped and I gotta pick it up. Give me a sec. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry I'm like a little cut off. I am doing a makeshift stand. So we're just gonna pretend we're here hanging out on my couch, talking, having chit chat. Being comfortable and cozy. So, like you just saw, I was walking my dog, and then there was, out of nowhere, a bunch of people walking their dogs. It's just popular time because everyone's getting home, and then it started to drizzle, so I was just like, let's just get done with this walk, and, get back inside, because it was getting kind of drizzly there. So like I was talking about, I launched my first small business vlog today. So there's one accomplishment. I was watching this video and I forget who it's from, but she was giving advice for small businesses who mainly make like stickers and like the pros and cons about that, and basically that you have to have like other things that you can sell, and because you can't just make really completely a living just on stickers, like because it's a lower ticketed item. And so there was a lot of helpful advice in it, but I was trying really hard to not let it discourage me. Like I feel that I have like a good plan on things I want to create, because there's a lot of things I like, so I don't want to just stick to one thing, but I'm trying really hard. I work full time. I obviously have my own household, my own other personal like responsibilities besides my work responsibilities. And then obviously I'm trying to do this full time, other like, the small business on the side. So it's not easy. Obviously, my main goal is to do what I really love, and I don't want to work for someone else. That's my like long-term goal. I want to work for myself, and I'd rather put all my time and effort in something that might frustrate me for something that's really for me at the end of the day and for my family. I don't know, it's just, if you've ever been in this position or kind of, trying to be in this position, some of these things just kind of run through your mind, and it's difficult. It's not easy. So today's been a little bit of a tough day, and it's another reason why I wanted to vlog, because I don't want to just vlog good things. I want to be relatable to people that might need to feel like they're not alone, but I also want to feel the same way, because if someone comments and just says, I've been feeling the same way, it's going to just make me feel better too, because it's going to just make me not feel like alone. And it's just is like, I don't know, it's hard to kind of explain, but it's just kind of my process of just trying to I guess heal through things appropriately instead of like closing myself off to everything and to even the things that I like to do, even though like the things I like to do are feeling kind of hard at times. But I'm just trying. I'm just trying to focus on this and give myself reasonable, healthy goals that I can accomplish, that make me feel accomplished. So yeah, another thing that I actually just started, and it's kind of random, but I'm trying to focus also on things that um either one that brought me joy as a kid, or two, maybe never got to do as a kid but always wanted to do, and not sitting there thinking, oh, I'm too old for it, and just do it, try it. And one thing that I never got to do was have a Tamagotchi. So random, but I have one right here, my very first one. I don't know if you see my little guy there. um my husband wanted to do this for me. It was like on a sale. It's a first gen. And it's actually been kind of nice just to like randomly look at and through the day and like, oh, what does my pet need? I don't know. It just, I'd rather look at something like this than like doom scrolling on my phone or something. Because at my job, like, I don't know, I kind of work through my work really fast. I'm just like, I don't know. Some people, I don't know. I get through my stuff quick sometimes, and then I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I'm feeling bored. And I'm also just a creative person, and my job isn't very creative. It's very repetitive of like, it's office work. So my job's a blessing. I'm thankful, but I try to like on my breaks and all that, try to do things that are fulfill me. So I have my iPad. I look at it when I'm on my lunch break. I do some art on it. And one thing I've been keeping on my desk the last couple of days is my little Tamagotchi. And I just look over at it and I'm like, what does my little guy need? My little pet. So I really am liking this. So anyways, this whole talking session is going along, and I don't know. I love vlogs, like, of seeing people do things, but I also like when people are talking too, and I'm just kind of like listening to their story or whatever. Like, so I don't know. I guess whoever's watching is the right person to be watching and likes this kind of content. So I guess I'm explaining all this because I shouldn't say sorry. Because if you don't like it or the style of it, you don't have to watch it, and that's okay. Don't have to like it. But I don't need to be sorry either just because I'm thinking I should be having different content or whatever. So, I don't know. I'm just thinking through things, and I'm just trying to just go through all this and trying to figure everything out and just be myself. When you go through a lot of hardships and a lot of grief and stuff, you tend to kind of lose yourself in that whole cycle, and you don't feel like yourself. And that really hit me today. I did not feel like myself, and I tried to really think about it, and I'm like, why do I feel really sad? Why do I feel like slightly depressed? Not depressed in like a alarming way, but just like you're kind of like, you feel kind of low, and it doesn't help. Today's a gloomy day. But I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, my grief of like things that I've gone through, and I haven't been like dressing like the way that makes me happy. I haven't gotten a haircut since November, and it is currently early April. And a lot of it's just like I don't want to spend funds because I'm really just trying to be responsible and stuff. But yeah, and you know what? I've been talking about in my last other videos I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to make a video about talking about the whole story behind my small business. And you know what? I think this is the video. Better to do it when I'm feeling some things today, and it is linked to behind a lot of what I'm doing with my small business, what I'm trying to accomplish. So, well, this video is not only just about my day, but my story of why I came up with Gingy Bear Co. So I guess this next part, let's just talk. I'm already at 10 minutes here. I'm going to try really hard not to get too lengthy. And also, I want you to be caring about, like, your triggers and what you can handle and what you can listen to. So, warning at this point, my story has to do with miscarrying. So if that is really too sensitive for you, like if maybe you've just recently gone through that and you're just not ready to hear someone else's story, that's okay. Just please click off. If you can, in the comments, tell me that, and because I'd love to say something nice to you, and because none of us should feel alone going through that. So yes. So I just wanted to give a little forewarning. Please have self-care, or if you feel like, you know what, I really just want to not feel alone right now and I'm going to listen. Okay, great. Stay here. So I found out I was pregnant December of 2024, so not that long ago, and it was not planned. Just a little health background. I'm a person who's suffered PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, so hormones very irregular. You're often told it's going to be very hard to conceive. You sometimes have a lot of weight issues. Hence why I still struggle with being overweight. But 2 years ago, on March 13th, I got the I can't even talk. Bariatric surgery, the sleeve done, and lost over 100 pounds. So 2 years later, I'm over 100 pounds less. And through that, I wanted to get off birth control because they wanted me on birth control prior to the surgery, just for their reasons for health concerns and blah blah. I wasn't happy to get on it. I've never really believed in birth control. If someone wants me to do a whole video on that, I can. But obviously I have my own reasons and stuff, and don't feel that it is the healthiest thing to do. So, anyways, after my surgery, so, into 2024, after a year after my surgery, I really just didn't want to be on the birth control anymore. And I have a friend that struggles same syndrome and has found like supplements and such that help and whatever. So she ended up telling me them. She says, maybe you want to try this, but basically it would be a big leap to take, because she's like, if you start this, you need to get off birth control right away. You can't do both at the same time. And I was like, oh my gosh, this means like I need to make like an executive decision for myself. And there's such fear in like health and like, oh, I need to get a doctor's approval, but at the end of the day, this is my body and I need to figure out what do I want to do. So I chose on June 1st of 2024, I believe it was, to stop my birth control. I was already married for almost basically a half a year, almost. I got married in January of 24. So Obviously I was like, okay, this is a big risk because, I have a history of bad periods. But anyways, they also told me, my doctors from my surgery, they said after surgery I was going to become very fertile and that they would prefer me not to get pregnant within at least 18 months after. So technically, by the end of that year would have been in September of 2024, 18 months. So I started not being on birth control right beforehand, a few months beforehand. Um, but anyways, the whole point of this is I basically wanted to be off the birth control, got on more natural things, started regulating my periods. I started having regular periods by the end of last year, and then December hit, and I knew by mid December, like around the 13th or so, I was supposed to get my period. Noticed that I wasn't getting an actual period because I moved into our first apartment December 6th. Um, a week after, I felt like we were still like unpacking. We had friends helping still, and I felt a little bit like a cramping, and I'm like, oh gosh, maybe I'm starting in my period now because that would have been close to the time. And I had very, very light bleeding, and the way it looked like was different to me. And I'm like, maybe it's because I'm getting more regulated and all that, and that was it. And then I didn't bleed, and the week of Christmas, I'm like, wait a minute. I was at work. I look at the calendar. I'm like, it's about to be Christmas. Or no, it was right after Christmas. Came back from Christmas. I'm like, why haven't I gotten an actual period? And I told my friend, this is the same friend, because she's the one that told me about the supplements. So I told her, I was like, you know, is there something I'm not doing right? I'm like, with the move, like maybe it's because I kind of was not as like on schedule with my supplements, so I kind of wanted to know because she takes it what she thought. She told me, um, it, it sounds like you could be pregnant. You should take some tests. Like, you should roll that out. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, December 28th, I believe, was the very first pregnancy test I took, and it was very faint. And, it was almost like a ghost line. It was so faint. And a couple days later, took another one. It was getting darker and got darker, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I had a hard time believing that it was true because I didn't plan it, and then came New Year's Eve. I ended up cramping so bad and bleeding pretty heavily. And I think I miscarried on New Year's. So, but kind of went through a chemical pregnancy almost because I continued to have symptoms and still felt very pregnant. And the problem is, we were having issues with our insurance, our medical, and we're waiting for it to get fixed. And I didn't get to go to the doctor right away, to get my testing and my blood test. So I kind of struggled till this day with the thought of like, was I really pregnant? Did I really go through that? Because when I finally went to the doctor, which was February 10th, I believe it was, I was supposed to get my ultrasound and everything, and my blood work. My blood work showed like very early stage of pregnancy, and that wouldn't have been correct. and it was like at a 5, but some places show that as like not pregnant, but my office showed it as like that's considered positive. Um, but I did my ultrasound and there was nothing there. That was probably one of the most devastating things because I kept telling myself, no, like I didn't want to like bring my hopes up, and um, but it was still very traumatizing, I think, for me to be laying there holding my husband's hand, kind of excited, and I'm like, where is it? And the lady's not saying anything, and I was the one that ended up asking her like, what, what, is there something there? Like, and she had to explain to me I don't see anything. I don't know. Yeah, that was tough. So they told me that they think I miscarried based off of my blood work and how there's nothing there and how I've missed periods, and that obviously it seems like I was pregnant. The problem is I wasn't with them from the very beginning of when I found out. And then now the doctor, I still kept testing positive afterwards. I thought maybe I got re-pregnant or something. Like everything just it's been such a roller coaster. And the doctor wanted to end up telling me, oh, I think you're just kind of like one of those people that just test false positives, even with blood work. And I'm like, what? I'm like, then how have I seen pregnancy tests go from faint to darker and then fade off, so that tells me like I don't know, like, which kind of disappoints me, and I feel like he shouldn't have said something like that to me because he doesn't really know my medical history and what really happened with me. But now I keep living with this thing of like, did I make something up in my head? And it really is a mind, you know what. um yeah, so I'm dealing with just the thought of, am I grieving something that just never was there, or am I grieving something that was there? But I do know how I try to remind myself of how I felt, the symptoms I had, how I've had issues, and now I finally got my first period back again, and it's been really off, and it's been very hard, and probably most likely from miscarrying, and but it took me a bit to get the period again, so I just don't understand like what's going on. I think my body's out of whack um, from the miscarriage. But in the midst of all that, my husband, Alistair, my husband has red hair. Yes, Alistair. My dog also has red hair too. Yes. I'm trying to talk. So, naturally we started calling the baby Gingy because we didn't know the sex of it yet, and we still don't know what the sex was. But we used to talk about, oh, what if like the baby has red hair like you, but the baby looks like me with red hair, and we just kind of like giggle about it, and so we just naturally started saying, Gingy, Gingy, and people ask me like, how's baby Gingy, like how was I feeling, with my symptoms, and so we naturally just started calling the baby Gingy. And so with all that, when I found out I was pregnant, I got really excited over teddy bears, and I even got this Vera Bradley backpack I take to work that's teddy bears. It was like I think part of the winter thing, and like the winter, I'm sorry, collab. I'm getting all like turn around, but part of their winter stuff that they had, and there was a big clearance after Christmas and the holidays, and my husband got it for me because I was just really excited, and they even had a blanket, and it was like so cheap. It was like $10. It was like so expensive, and we ended up getting it to save for the baby and stuff, like one of the baby's first blankets. And I even in my other video, you see me wearing the teddy bear PJ. It's all from the same line. So I got just really like excited over teddy bears. It just reminded me of the baby, and I even got a Pandora charm that has the baby charm that has like a teddy bear, a pacifier, and something else. I think a heart. I got it in symbol. Um, sorry, my brain. I got it as being excited for being pregnant, which also just made it even harder because I'm like, I now have a charm, and I thought I was gonna stay pregnant, you know. So, but I'm also happy that I do have it, because I very much want to feel like, you know, this was real, and that baby existed, and baby that might not be with us right now, but it is in heaven happy. So I'm just going through a grieving process of the loss, you know, and it's a different kind of grief because you're grieving something like someone you never met, and it's a whole different thing. And so um yeah, I am doing this shop in honor of the baby and the teddy bear symbolism of my angel baby. So that's why the bear is called Gingy Bear. And it's you know, it's I feel like it's gonna help me heal and just make me feel like, you know, and making the memory of that happy moment live on. And I don't want to live life like, you know, I'll forget about it. And I also wanted to feel guilty, like moving on and trying to get re-pregnant. Like this kind of like, even if I get pregnant again, having this, like Gingy Bear makes you feel like I'm not replacing Gingy, you know? Gingy has its own place, you know, its own honor, I guess. It's hard to explain. Like it's just a lot of like how I feel, and I do have a hard time sometimes explaining feelings. Um, I am gonna start doing therapy, and I think that's important if anyone has gone through this or even just anything else. Doing therapy and look at the places near you. They do have like interns that cost less, and I found that, and it really is so affordable. And so do it and try and still trust that those people, even though they're newer at it, that they'll have still good tools to give you. And I I feel like it's still a good opportunity. And so um I'm gonna be starting that up, um and just kind of work through this because I obviously want to be healthy. So mentally, and obviously I need to still grieve if I have to, and feel however I need to feel. You know, sometimes it's hard when I see kids in public. I don't know if this happened to anyone that's, you know, miscarried, but um, I want to start crying sometimes, and I've had a hard time at work. So when I start thinking about it, I have to like run to the bathroom and cry sometimes because I can't really stop it, and I'm usually really good at stopping my tears, and with this it's been very hard. So like I love being around kids, but it also feels painful and very hard. So um so I'm in my 30s. I feel like my time's running out, and I didn't realize how badly I wanted to be a mom. And I'm at least happy that I do know I want to be. So because I teetered on that, if I'm being honest, I wasn't sure if that was for me. Um so I'm going to be hopeful, and I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to pray that God gives us that blessing, and that me and the baby would be healthy, and I'm trying everything to be healthy with my own body for it to happen and work. And um so that's all I have for now about that. I'm sure there's much more I could talk about this and this grief that I this stage in life. But maybe in other vlogs, whatever I'm feeling at the time, I'll bring it up to you guys, and I hope that it helps your healing to not feel alone. And you definitely can message me in the comments and stuff. I'd love to chat with you and be there for you as well. And just thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. And please like, comment, and subscribe. That is going to mean so much to me that you can be part of a community with me. And also just support me as I can try to support you too. And please be on a lookout for any shops openings I'm going to do, launching. I'm trying to work on stuff, and in honor not only for my angel baby but other angel babies out there, and just bringing joy in these simple things and art of just everyday life and cutesy things and stuff. I hope that it does that for you. So thank you again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.